Hello and welcome to episode Chanel number 5 of Shut It Slag News. And just like an illegal migrant next to an RNLI boat, let's jump right in. You slag! You slag! Labour have collectively placed the last nail in the coffin for who knows how many pensioners this winter by voting for or simply abstaining from the strangulation of an essential lifeline that we all know as the Winter Fuel Allowance, which has now been renamed the Winter Fuel for Bolton by the man who lives up to his name, the STARMERNATOR, or Dickie to his wimpy Westminster gimps. Oh yes, indeedly deedy. It changed, it grew, and everybody knew it would become Prime Minister. I call it an it because there's not much humanity in this perplexed soul. I'm all for diversity and equality and any other words ending in itty, but let's be reasonable here. You don't let a person with Asperger's run the country. In very much the same way, you don't give a retard a telephone. He's going to try and change channel on the TV with it. What have I done there? If that word was taken out of the dictionary, I wouldn't use it. Anyway, I'm being inclusive. I know. It's a bit below the belt, says Sir Jim, who didn't even wear a belt. He only wore pants because of the cold Scarborough sea air. If God himself visited me with his cock hanging out, I'm sorry, I'd have to ask the question. I don't care how many nectar points he has with Sainsbury's. I'd say, alright God, how's it hanging? Oh no, I wouldn't say that. No, mind you, Mohammed popped round, he probably would have his cock hanging out. And if not, why not? It would be expected. What was that? Was that my microwave? Oh no, there is no microwave. Of course, this is a professional television slag studio.
Fucking cunt!
That was Alf Thompson next door.
Fuck off!
Yeah, we need to put a bit more soundproofing in and that, you know what I mean? You what? Oh yes, it's puzzle time. I've got all excited. Oh no, false alarm. Yes, and for today's puzzle, there are 2 parts to this. Part 1, you have to give the full name of the slag featured in this photograph. The second part, which is more difficult, you'll have to name the lucky child behind the hedge, who has been lavishly rewarded with lollipops, ice cream, and Eon vouchers. Oh no, wait a minute, it wasn't a child, it was just Sadiq. What? He looks like a child. He certainly runs one of the biggest cities in the world like a bleeding child. I tell you what, you give a retard a telephone. Never mind. Speaking of London, on October the 26th, there is going to be another Tommy Mrs. Robinson rally with lots of middle-class people, according to Sky News. Shock horror, you kettle of keefs. 100,000 people could be standing around peacefully in London without no disruption. Having said that, you can't tell me that out of 100,000 law-abiding citizens, someone isn't going to need to take a dump. Probably on someone's front lawn. Good luck with that. Tell Starmer he's a J. Arthur from me, you care? So, continuing on with the STARMERNATOR, this legal and above-board member of the press, I've got some cards printed at Vistaprint, has it on good authority from a kosher source, stolen from another YouTuber, that Rodders went over to Germany for a bit of sausage. Well, it's legal over there, and when he came back to England, Germany had begun closing its doors to the migrants. I knew these bleeding Germans would get upset because Blighty kicked the Kraut's ass in the Falklands. Maybe Starmer, the Islamic charmer, should just close off Europe completely, bypass it entirely, and bring all the brown clans over to the UK directly. Let's bring back Concord. Bring them here at our expense in style, and when they land, they can have a shit on the runway. That last lot that fled the Middle East in haste made it to Hungary. Why not go all the way and inhabit one of the smallest countries in the entire solar system and overstretch our population to the level of insanity? I've seen some of these donut-munching fatties on TikTok with more landmass on them than Great Britain. At least in America, you could put all these people that nobody wants in a state that nobody wants, like Alabama, and then Trump can build a big wall round it. In Britain, we've got Liverpool, but it's full. But at least they don't eat cats and dogs for dinner. They just sell them on eBay. What was the question again? Oh yeah, our very much beloved PM, Dickie, the spare prick at an arranged wedding. I'll give a few more words on Keir Rodders, Starmer. Whilst visiting Germany recently, it seemed very much in sync. No, not where the dirty dishes go, with some coincidental aspects, with the recent ejaculation of support for extreme right parties by her. Of course, everybody far right is Hitler. What are you if you are far left? Mary Poppins? And she's off her head? What about Enya? That's too much beauty in one lifetime. Having said that, I'm not entirely sure if Hitler was extreme far right. He'd fall off. Many things seem to hint that Hitler was more far left than one would assume, or presume. One of them. Take all these trans people that are annoying everyone nowadays. I mean, integrating with society. All those gender-confused individuals are far left, and Hitler only had one ball. Maybe, just maybe, he was transitioning whilst invading Czechoslovakia, albeit slowly. Well, not Czechoslovakia, having his bollocks off. One sweetbread per sitting. Hitler had dealings with the Middle East extremists anti-Semitists. Is that a word? Yes. And what fascist dictator didn't like a bit of racial cleansing back in the day? Whilst 80 years on, these lefties singing From the River to the Sea, thinking it's Taylor Swift's latest hit single. Hitler also didn't eat meat. And these vegan influencers are arseholes. I mean left wing. Of course, you can't say left wing to the face. It might remind them of Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's plenty of arseholes for one shut-it Slag news bulletin. The head. Quick Trump, duck. I'm off down Asda's now to steal 200 quid's worth of razor blades and sell them on eBay. Ta-ra. You Slag! You Slag!